Wow. Hello, mighty companion. This is Earl Purdy. I want to welcome you to Hardcore Course in Miracles here on Facebook Live. Hardcore Course in Miracles. And would you like to have the answer to every problem that would confront you today? Would you like to have the answer to any problem that would confront you tomorrow? Would you like to have the answer to any problem that will confront you throughout time? Well, that is exactly what we're going to be talking about and covering in this Course in Miracles presentation here on Facebook Live. And we're going to start out with our theme song, which is We Are One. We Are One. Here we go.
There's a call for God, I see it everywhere. Everybody's running scared, and everything is turning upside down. But the words I hear, they keep coming through from deep inside of me and you. It's telling us that love is who I am. You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it and know that we are one. Yeah, yeah, we are one. Now let's come together and understand that Christ was born inside of everyone. He's looking for us to choose love as ourselves. When you choose love, you know you choose me too. And everyone becomes a part of you. And then you'll know that love is who I am. You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it and know that we are one. Yeah, yeah, we are one. Oh, we are one.
Hey, y'all, this is Earl Purdy. Welcome to Hardcore Course in Miracles that is especially directed toward Course in Miracles students, but anyone is welcome to watch and to learn from what A Course in Miracles teaches. We're going to focus on the practical application of the ideas. My focus is going to be on the practical application of the ideas of A Course in Miracles. And I'm excited and I'm so thankful to be here with you.
You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it we are one. Oh, we are one. I am you, and you are me.
I am you, and you are me. Think about that. I am you, and you are me. I am you. Hey, I'm Earl Purdy, and I'm so glad to have you here with me doing Hardcore Course in Miracles. Would you like to have the answer to every problem, any problem that would confront you today, tomorrow, and throughout time? Would you like to have the answer to any problem that you will ever be confronted with for the rest of your life? Would you like the one answer to any problem that comes up in any area of your life for the rest of your life? Well, that's what we're going to talk about from A Course in Miracles. And I am totally focused in on the practical application of the Course in Miracles. I love how all of a sudden they're doing all kinds of work outside of my apartment, bamming, drilling. It's so funny. This never happens. As long as I've been here for years, I've never had any work being done right outside of my apartment. But I'm not surprised with the Course in Miracles. So I would rather listen to some music in the background than drilling in the background. So you may hear a little bit more music than usual, a little more louder than usual. But I love music. Music opens up your intuition. It opens up your right brain. It opens up the part of you that is intuitive and psychic. So I want you to take a breath with me right now, and I'm going to give you the guidelines to the Course in Miracles. These are the guidelines. The Course in Miracles says that if you really want to be able to apply the principles that would allow you to have more happiness and more joy than you've ever experienced before, this is what the Course in Miracles says that you need to remember. Okay, so when you listen to this lesson that I'm going to present, I've been teaching and learning the Course in Miracles for over 40 years, and I've never seen anything work the way this material works when you actually apply it. And I also have learned over 40 years that either in a way you're either ready for A Course in Miracles or you're not. There's a part in the Course in Miracles where it says, you know, if you find your resistance is really strong and your dedication is weak, if your resistance is strong, that means your dedication is weak. So the Course in Miracles says, if your resistance is strong to practicing the Course in Miracles and focusing in on the Course in Miracles, if you find your dedication to it weak, do you know that the Course in Miracles says, well, all that really means is you're not ready. Right now, you're not ready to do it. And that's okay. You're totally innocent. But this hardcore Course in Miracles Facebook Live that I do is especially focused and geared toward those who really want to practice what the Course in Miracles is saying. There's a line in the Course in Miracles where it says that it's not concerned with understanding, that the Course in Miracles is not concerned with your understanding it. The Course in Miracles is more concerned with you practicing what it's saying. Practicing what it's saying. So we're going to practice it. I want to put the focus on remembering what the Course in Miracles is saying and then applying it so that it's something that's practical, something that actually we are using it. We're going to do lesson 50, which I consider to be my favorite lesson in the entire workbook of A Course in Miracles. The Course in Miracles consists of a text, which is the theoretical foundation of the material, a workbook, which gives you exercises that allows you to actually apply the Course in Miracles to your everyday life. And then there's a manual for teachers that has like a clarification of the terms that the Course in Miracles uses. And it's all in one book called A Course in Miracles. Those of you who may be resisting actually doing the workbook exercises, I'd like to remind you that the Course in Miracles says, how can you say you really want something, but you're not willing to do what it would take to have it? How can you say you really want the benefits and the healing and the joy and the happiness and peace that A Course in Miracles promises, but you're not willing to do the means to have it? And the workbook exercises are the means for you to achieve the happiness and the total fulfillment that the Course in Miracles is promising. It's through doing the workbook, that's how you will allow yourself to accomplish the goal of total and complete happiness and peace that the Course in Miracles promises. So how do you achieve the goal of A Course in Miracles? It's through doing the workbook, practicing the ideas and the exercises in the workbook. And lesson 50 in the workbook is on page 79 in the blue book, the Foundation for Inner Peace version of A Course in Miracles. So take a breath, and the Course in Miracles says often, read me slowly, do me slowly. And the Course in Miracles constantly reminds us to repeat the ideas over and over and over. Repeat the ideas. It's through repetition. That you change your mind. It's through repetition that you change the way you look at things. It's by repeating the new ideas, the ideas that you want to accept, the ideas that you want to believe, the ideas that you want to use. You have to repeat it over and over. It's like driving a nail into the wood. It's like hammering a nail into wood. You don't usually do it with one blow. So it's through the repetition. It's so funny. It's so loud. It's like it amped up twice as loud as it was at first. Could that be us creating a little bit of resistance? I wonder, could it have something to do with the ego, the part of us that doesn't want to do this? So here we go. It's on page 79. Now remember, you need not believe the ideas. You need not believe the ideas. You need not believe the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You don't have to accept the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You need not even welcome the ideas or welcome the ideas. You need not even welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. You might resist some of the things that I say to you. You might exist. You might not exist. You might resist some of the ideas that you hear from A Course in Miracles. Some of the ideas you might find hard to believe. Some of it might be hard for you to believe. Some of the things that I tell you from A Course in Miracles, you might find it hard to believe. Some things I say from A Course in Miracles might be hard to believe. Some of the things you hear may be hard to believe. And others may seem to be quite startling. You might hear something that startles you. You are not asked to judge the ideas at all. You are not asked to analyze and judge the ideas at all. You're not asked to analyze and judge the ideas at all. Their use will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. Listen to me. Listen to me. You have to use the ideas to see that the ideas are true. That means it's not about analyzing the ideas. It's about using the ideas. Their use will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. Their use will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. So I am sustained by the love of God. Lesson 50. Lesson 50. So we're going to use rhythm as well as explanation. I'm going to say, I want you to say, I want you to think, I want you to think, I want you to think, I want you to say to yourself right now, I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love of God. Say it. I am sustained by the love of God. 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 You are 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 sustained by the love of God. Take a breath. Take another breath. And say once again, I am sustained by the love of God. 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 I am sustained by the love, say it to yourself. I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love of God. We are 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 sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love of God. And it says, here is the answer to every problem that will confront you. What is the answer to every problem that will confront you? What is the answer to every problem that will confront you? I don't care what problem you're dealing with right now. It can be a health problem. It can be a relationship problem. It can be a money problem. It can be a spiritual problem. It can be a guilt problem. It can be a drug problem. It doesn't matter what the problem is. I'm going to give you the answer to it right now. Now, does that mean that you will necessarily believe the answer? Does that mean that you would necessarily like the answer? Does that mean that necessarily you will understand the answer? No, I'm just giving you the answer. You know, I'm giving you a fact. I'm telling you the truth. It's sort of, I like to use the analogy of gravity. Gravity operates regardless of the mood you're in. Gravity operates whether or not you believe in gravity. Gravity is a fact whether you're in a good mood or a bad mood. So it's not really about how much a person understands something or how much they like something in order for it to be true. So if you were to take that attitude in studying A Course in Miracles, sort of like this book is gravity. It's just telling me facts. This is the way it actually is. Now, I might not understand it, I might not see it, I might not agree with it, but it doesn't mean that gravity is not going to operate unless I agree with it. It's not like the truth isn't true unless I agree with it. Do you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, mighty companion? And another thing is we have to let ourselves hear what the Course in Miracles is saying. So so this is the answer to every problem that will confront you today. This is the answer to every problem that will confront you tomorrow. This is the answer to every problem that will come up throughout time, which is you are sustained by the love of God. Now, when I say you are sustained by the love of your Creator, when I say that you are sustained by the love of your Creator, I want you to be clear that the Course in Miracles is not saying that you are sustained by how much you love God. It's not about how much you love God. It's not that you're not going to be sustained unless you love God. So I'm going to be sustained by my love of God. That is not what the Course in Miracles is saying. The Course in Miracles is saying that you are sustained, that you are sustained, that you are sustained by God's love for you. You are being sustained by your Creator's love. You are sustained by your Creator's love for you. I am sustained by the love of God means I am sustained by God's love for me. You are going to be taken care of, provided for, guided, because God loves you. Your Creator loves you. That which created you loves you. That which created you sustains you. That which created you sustains you. So I am sustained by the love of God is not, I am sustained because I love God. And I'm just going to be saying, oh, I love you, God. I love you, God. I love you, Creator. I love you, God. I love you. No. You're going to be sustained because your Creator loves you. Your Creator will take care of you. Your Creator is guiding you constantly. Your Creator is talking to you from within and guiding you in every situation and circumstance that you're dealing with right now. Why don't you hear it? Why don't you hear the guidance? You don't hear the guidance because you're listening. A person doesn't hear the guidance because they are listening to the voice they are making up. See, there's a voice that is talking to you in your head all the time, telling you what's going on, telling you what you should do, telling you what your happiness is. And so you're listening to the voice in your head that you're making up. And the Course in Miracles says if you're listening to the voice that you're making up, you can always tell when you're listening to the voice you're making up because you'll end up in a situation that you think is an impossible situation. You'll end up in a situation where you feel depressed and you feel unhappy and you feel like you failed. So if you have those kind of feelings about anything that you're going through right now, it's because you're not listening to the voice of God. You're not listening to the voice of your guide, your inner guide, your spiritual guide. You're not listening to your higher self. If you feel depressed, if you feel upset, if you feel afraid, you're not listening to the voice of God. So the Course in Miracles says, in this world, what does it say? It says, in this world, you believe you are sustained by everything but God. So the Course in Miracles says, well, the first thing I want to tell y'all is you really believe that everything is taking care of you except me. That's what the Creator is saying to us. You think everything is taking care of you except me, your Creator. You especially think it's you taking care of you. And you're especially thinking that you have to be the one that takes care of you. So the Course in Miracles says, in this world, you believe you are sustained by everything but God. And so I asked myself, I said, well, what do you mean I think I'm sustained by everything but God? Well, it says in the Course, your faith, what is your faith really placed in? What is your faith really placed in? Well, then it says, well, your faith is placed in two things: the most trivial and insane symbols. The Course in Miracles says we have faith in trivial and insane symbols. I think that's a very interesting statement, that I have faith in symbols. I have faith in trivial and insane symbols instead of having faith that I'm going to be sustained and taken care of by God. So then you ask yourself, okay, well, what are these trivial and insane symbols that I think is really taking care of me? In other words, what is it that the average person's faith really placed in? What is it that the average person believes in? What is it that people in the world tend to believe in? What is it that people in the world have faith in? Well, the Course in Miracles says, well, first of all, your faith is placed in pills. You believe if you don't take that aspirin, if you don't take that prescription, that you are not going to be okay. The Course in Miracles says we believe in money, that our faith is placed in money, that people have more faith that they place in money than they place in their Creator. That people believe that money is what's going to take care of them more than they believe that it's God that's going to take care of them. That people in the world, in this world, you believe you are sustained by everything but God, is the same as saying in this world, you believe that you are sustained by pills. You believe that you are sustained by money. You believe that you are sustained by protective clothing. You believe that you are sustained by influence. The Course says people in the world believe that they are sustained by prestige. The Course in Miracles says we believe that we're going to be taken care of and that we're going to be sustained by being liked. I believe if somebody really like me, if people really like me, I'm going to be okay. If people really like me, I'm going to be taken care of. If people really like me, that's what is going to sustain me. That's what's really going to take care of me. The Course in Miracles says that in the world, people believe that they are sustained by knowing the right people. If I know the right people, if I know the people who have the most influence, then this is going to sustain me. This is going to take care of me. You know, if I know the president of the company, then that's going to guarantee that I'm going to get the job that's going to take care of me. That the Course says that we have faith in being liked. We have faith in knowing the right people. So if we have faith in pills, money, protective clothing, influence, prestige, being liked, knowing the right people, what does the Course in Miracles describe that? How does the Course in Miracles describe those things? Well, the Course in Miracles says this is an endless list. We think we're being taken care of by an endless list of forms of nothingness that we endow with magical powers. The Course in Miracles says we thinking that pills take care of us. That's us endowing pills with magical power. That we endow money with magical power. We endow protective clothing with magical power. What's the magical power? We think all those things will sustain us. We think they will take care of us. The Course in Miracles says an endless list of forms of nothingness that we endow with magical powers is influence, prestige, being liked, knowing the right people. He says that's magic. That's us believing that we are being taken care of and sustained by something that's not really taking care of us, that's not really sustaining us. Hear me, hear me, hear me well. Hear what the Course in Miracles is saying. The Course in Miracles is saying that in the world, we believe that we are sustained by money. We think we're sustained by pills. But it's not saying that any of those things are inherently bad or inherently wrong. So don't misperceive what I'm saying. I'm not saying that there are not instances in which you would not use all of these things if you think they're necessary. The Course in Miracles talks about how if you don't really have enough internal faith, that you need to temporarily put your faith in external things. If you don't really have faith in the God within you and the Spirit within you, and you don't believe that you can heal from within yourself yet, and you're not able to heal from within yourself yet, well, the Course in Miracles talks about, well, then it's okay for you to temporarily rely on external healing methods, external things. So the Course in Miracles is not judging us or condemning us because we believe that it's important to have money. As a matter of fact, the Course in Miracles says in a section in the book that's called The Question of Payment, it talks about how the Course in Miracles says, I know that you think you need money in order to stay here. And so I'll give you what you need to stay here if you're willing to fulfill your function for being here. And your function for being here is to learn how to forgive, how to see things correctly, how to see things in a loving way. You're here to bring love on the planet. You're here to be a channel for truth and love on the planet. And if you're willing to do that, then you'll always be given what you need. It's called the Question of Payment. It's in one of the supplements of A Course in Miracles. So don't misperceive what I'm saying. So what is pills, money, protective clothing, influence, prestige, being like, knowing the right people? The Course says, do you know that all these things are your replacements for the love of God? Rather than me really believing and having faith in God's love for me and believing that God is going to sustain me, I really believe pills, money, clothes, influence, prestige, being like, knowing the right people, these are the things that I have faith in. And even more than that, outside of myself, that I think is going to take care of me. So the Course says, well, you know what? Pills, money, protective clothing, influence, prestige, being like, knowing the right people, these things are cherished. So why is it that we cherish money? Why is it that we cherish protective clothing, pills, influence, prestige, being like, knowing the right people? Why do we cherish those things? Well, the Course in Miracles says you cherish those things to ensure, I love that, he says, to ensure a body identification. So that's a deep statement. So what does the Course in Miracles means when it says you evaluating all these outer things and material things and things outside of yourself? He says because it ensures that you will continue to identify yourself as being a body, because it's only the body that really needs what? Money, pills, clothing, influence, prestige, being like, knowing the right people. The Course in Miracles says all those things really ensure that I'll continue to think that I am a body instead of recognizing that I am spirit. What? Yeah. All these things, what things? Pills, money, protective clothing, influence, prestige, being like, knowing the right people. These things are cherished to ensure that I'll keep on thinking that I'm this separate body, this ego that's separate and separate from God. That's the real reason. That's a fact. We may not understand that. We may not agree with that. But the Course in Miracles is just giving us the facts. So these are really songs of praise to our ego. Every time we believe that we are sustained by, really believe we're being taken care of by anything other than God, whenever we think we're being provided for by anything other than God, then the Course in Miracles says that's us praising our ego. That's us praising our separated self. That's us praising the part of us that thinks it's on its own and separate from God. That is what that really is. And so the Course in Miracles says to us that that's what's worthless. So what is the Course in Miracles definition of worthless? The Course in Miracles definition of worthless is anything that you think is taking care of you other than the universe. Anything that you think is taking care of you other than God. Anything that you think is taking care of you other than God is worthless. Because anything that you think is taking care of you other than your Creator is you putting your faith in something that's worthless. And when you put your faith in the worthless, the Course in Miracles says the worthless will not sustain you. So believing that there's anything other than your Creator that's taking care of you, that's sustaining you, then you're believing in something that is ultimately worthless. Now that's not to say that God might not use money and pills and protective clothing and what appears to be influence, prestige, being liked, and knowing the right people to bless you. But you just need to stop confusing the channel with the source. Stop confusing the channel with the source. Stop confusing the channel with the source. Money, pills, protective clothing, influence, all those things, they can be channels They can be channels for you to receive, but they are not the source. So what is it that will protect you in all circumstances? What is it that will protect you in all circumstances? Only God's love. You may not realize it, but only your Creator's love will protect you. Only the love of God for you will protect you in every circumstance. So what is it that the love of God would do? What is it that the love of God, what is it that God's love for you will do? Well, it's going to lift you, it's going to lift you out. It's the love of God, your Creator's love is going to lift you out of every trial. The love of your Creator for you is going to raise you high. It's going to raise you high above all the perceived dangers in this world. Do you want to be raised? Do you want to rise above? Do you want to be above all the dangers in this world? Do you want to go to a climate of perfect peace and perfect safety? Well, God's love for you, that idea of God's love for you, the Course in Miracles says it will transport you into a state of mind that nothing can threaten. So what is the Course in Miracles trying to do? It's trying to transport you. Where is the Course in Miracles trying to transport you? The Course in Miracles is trying to transport you to a state of mind. See, everything that you perceive, everything that you experience is coming from your mind. Everything that you experience and everything that you perceive is coming from your mind. The way that you feel is coming from the way that you think. The way that you feel is coming from the way that you think. What you see is coming from what you think. So the Course in Miracles says what you need to do is you need to be transported into a state of mind that nothing can threaten. That's a state of mind where nothing can disturb you. That's a state of mind where nothing can intrude upon your calm. So where do you need to be transported? You need to achieve a state of mind, because the state of mind that you want to achieve is a state of mind where nothing can threaten your peace. You want to have a state of mind where nothing can disturb you. You want to have a state of mind where nothing can intrude on your calm, because the outer is going to be a reflection of the inner. What you really want is peace of mind no matter what's going on with your finances. What you really want is peace of mind no matter what's going on with your body. What you really want is peace of mind regardless of what's happening in your relationships or on your job. What you want is peace of mind no matter what's happening in your spiritual development and your spiritual awakening. So what the Course in Miracles is trying to do is take you to a certain state of mind. And the idea, I am sustained by the love of God, that idea, knowing that God's love will protect you in every circumstance. Do you know that a person who knows that God's love will protect them in every circumstance is a person who has a state of mind that nothing can threaten? So when you really know that you are being protected by God in every situation and circumstance, then you will be in a feeling and in an experience of peace, and you will be in an experience of safety. So what is it that you are not supposed to put your faith in? My throat's a little scratchy, so let me take this little symbolic gesture right now. So what is the instruction? The instruction is for you not to put your faith in illusions. What's an illusion? The Course in Miracles says an illusion is a false idea. So what's the false idea? The false idea is that anything is really taking care of you that's not the love of God. That's the illusion. The illusion is that money is taking care of you, pills is taking care of you, who you know, all that stuff. The Course in Miracles says that's an illusion and it's going to fail you. Putting your faith into everything outside of you is going to fail you. So what is it that you should do? So if you're not going to put your faith in illusions, if you're not going to put your faith in pills, money, prestige, being liked, all that other stuff that the Course says, that's really not what's really taking care of you, where should you put your faith? Well, the Course in Miracles says, well, put all your faith in the love of God within you. What it says, put your faith in the love of God within you. And then the Course in Miracles describes what the love of God is. You know, one of the things as a teacher and learner of A Course in Miracles for 4 decades, it's really interesting to me, is how often you will see people analyzing A Course in Miracles and then giving their interpretation of what it means. Where really, if they would actually read the book and study what it's saying and let themselves hear it, they would realize that everything the Course in Miracles says, it explains while it says it. For instance, it says, put all your faith in the love of God within you. And then it says, eternal, changeless, and forever unfailing. So what are the characteristics of the love of God? The love of God is eternal. The love of God never changes, and the love of God never fails. So you have to begin to move toward the idea that your Creator loves you permanently, and that there's nothing you can do to lose your Creator's love. You need to start to accept the idea that that love is eternal, which means that love never changes, and that love and support and you being sustained by God will never fail. So when it says put your faith in the love of God, it's talking about put your faith in things that which within you is eternal, that which within you doesn't change, and that which is within you that never fails. And do you know that this is the answer to whatever confronts you right now? This is the answer to whatever confronts you right now. It doesn't matter what it is that's confronting you right now. This is the answer. This is the answer. This is the answer. It's that you have God's love, that you are going to be, and you're totally being, and you will be sustained by God forever. And there's nothing you can ever do to lose that love. There's nothing you can ever do to lose that support. But you can think in such a way that you keep yourself from taking advantage of that love. You can think in such a way that you don't hear the guidance that's coming to you from God, or that you even miss the opportunities that are being given you by God. So it's through the love of God within you. It says, through the love of God within you, what can you do? Well, it says, well, through the love of God within you, you can resolve all seeming difficulties. You can resolve what? All your difficulties. And then how can you resolve your difficulties? Well, the Course says, well, you can resolve your difficulties in 2 ways. What 2 ways can you resolve your difficulties? You can resolve your difficulties without effort. What? You can resolve every one of your difficulties without effort through the love of God within you. You can resolve all your seeming difficulties in sure confidence through God's love, not through your confidence, but through the love of your Creator. That's how you can resolve all your difficulties, not through you. Your difficulties are not going to be resolved through your wisdom separate from God. Your problems are not going to be permanently solved through the solutions that you come up with. There's a line in the Course where he says, you've never tried to solve a problem by yourself and been successful, and you've never solved a problem with God that didn't get solved. So I'll say it again. You've never tried to solve a problem by yourself and you were successful at solving it. And any problem that's ever been solved, it was solved through your connection to your source. So it says, through the love of God, you can resolve all seeming difficulties without effort and ensure confidence. And then we get very practical instruction. And the practical instruction is, tell yourself this often. Tell yourself what often? Through the love of God within me, I can resolve all seeming difficulties without effort and ensure confidence. Through the love of God within me, I can resolve all seeming difficulties without effort and ensure confidence. See, that's a very practical instruction. So don't worry about whether you understand that or not. That's not important. What's important is to do what the Course in Miracles is telling you to do. And it's telling you, tell yourself this often. Tell yourself this often. Tell yourself what? What is it you need to tell yourself often? Tell yourself, through the love of God within me, I can resolve all seeming difficulties without effort and ensure confidence. Because when you said, through the love of God within me, I can resolve all seeming difficulties without effort and ensure. Notice I'm looking at the book because I want to encourage you to do that. You don't have to. It's a trip. A hammering. They're nailing. And it's like 7:45 Mountain Time, right? It's so, I love the Course in Miracles. It talks about how the ego will always try to somehow run interference or block you really being able to hear the truth. So I want to acknowledge you for hanging in here with me. See, just take this, just realize that. So when I turn the music up, it's so I can drown out the hammering. Like right now, he's hammering. So that's why you'll see me turn it up, because I want to drown out the hammering. So the Course says, now, telling yourself it's through the love of God within you, you can resolve all seeming difficulties. The Course in Miracles define that as a declaration of release. So if you want to be released from your belief in idols, if you want to be released from your belief in lack and fear, if you want to acknowledge the truth about yourself, if you want to tell the truth about yourself, then you would say, through the love of God within me, through the love of God within you, you can resolve all seeming difficulties without effort and ensure confidence. Tell yourself this often today. See, that's a very specific instruction. So why should you tell yourself that through the love of God you can solve all your difficulties? He says, because then you're making a declaration of release. Then you are acknowledging the truth about yourself. So then you get really specific instruction. The instruction is for 10 minutes twice today. 10 friggin' minutes out of 24 hours. 20 minutes out of 24 hours. He says, let the idea sink deep into your consciousness. See, that's a specific instruction. What idea? Through the love of God within me, I can resolve all seeming difficulties without effort and ensure confidence. Let the ideas for today sink deep into your consciousness. So how do you let an idea sink deep into your consciousness? Well, you let an idea sink deep into your consciousness by what? It says, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. That's why I'm the divine repetition teacher. If you want a new idea to go deep into your consciousness, if you want the idea that you're sustained by God to go deep into your consciousness, you've got to repeat it. You've got to think about it. You've got to let related thoughts come to help you recognize that it's true. You have to allow peace. If you want to let an idea sink deep into your consciousness, you have to allow peace to flow over you. Let peace flow over you like a blanket of protection. Let peace flow over you like a blanket of protection, like a blanket of protection. So how do you let new ideas take over in your mind? You let new ideas take over in your mind by repeating the idea, thinking about the idea, letting related thoughts come to help you recognize that the idea is true. You allow peace to flow over you like a blanket. Picture peace flowing over you like a blanket. Peace, let peace flow over you like a blanket of protection and surety. What's the next instruction? The next instruction is, let no idle and foolish thoughts. Don't let any foolish thoughts enter to disturb your holy, innocent mind. See, you are a child of God. You are a child of God. You are a child of love. You are a child of truth. You are a child of God. You are a child of love. You are a child of truth. So don't let any foolish thoughts disturb your mind. So what would be foolish thoughts? Well, foolish thoughts would be you believing that it's pills, money, protective clothing, influence, prestige, being liked, knowing the right people, and an endless list of forms of nothingness. If you believe that that's what's taking care of you, that would be an idle and foolish thinking. So foolish thinking is believing that anything is taking care of you but God is foolish thinking. Believing that anything that's taking care of you or sustaining you or protecting you but your creator is foolish thinking. So the Course in Miracles tells you then that what you want to do is repeat it, think about it. Allow peace to flow over you like a blanket of protection and surety. Don't let any idle and foolish thoughts enter to disturb your mind. So what are idle and foolish thoughts according to the Course in Miracles? It's an idle and foolish thought for you to think that it's money and pills and protective clothing and influence and prestige and being liked and knowing the right people, thinking that that's what's taking care of you. It's God, your creator, that is taking care of you, and your creator may use these things as channels to give you what you need to stay in this world in order for you to fulfill your function. And your function is to demonstrate love and truth. Your function is to think just the opposite of the way the world thinks, that produces fear and conflict and separation. Your function is to forgive. And to forgive is to see things correctly, to see things from the perspective of truth. So what would that look like? What would that look like for you to be fulfilling your function? What would that look like? I'm going to tell you exactly what that would look like when I do the recap in just a minute. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you, all of you who are willing to be channels that share a financial expression of appreciation that allows me to continue to do my function in this world, as well as you are benefiting from what's coming through me also, hopefully. So if you'd like to make a love offering or a donation to support this ministry, this teaching ministry that I'm doing, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. And you can go to my website, www.earlpurdy.com. You can use Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, the Cash App, and you can use my email, which is earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. And I'm also available for mentoring and counseling and working with you on a one-on-one. So you don't have to do anything by yourself. I'm here to work with you and to use the 40 years that I've been working with the Course in Miracles to help you solve any problem and any situation that you're dealing with. I hear the drilling sound of God. I hear the drilling sound of God. I hear the drilling sounds of God. So God is trying to tell us we need to drill this in. We need to drill this in. Drill the truth in. Drill the truth in. Because that's what's happening right now. Also, I do what I call clarity sessions. So if you want to have a one-on-one with me where I use my 40 years of working with the Course in Miracles and my 40 years working as an astrologer and as a numerologist, then I'm available. I'm available for you to use. So just go to my website, earlpurdy.com, and look under the Clarity Session tab. And you can self-book an appointment with me right online. I want to work with you on a one-on-one. We want to go deep. We want to allow this truth that we've learned today to work. So please check out my Facebook Live on the Course in Miracles that I do at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 1 p.m. on Sundays on the Earl Purdy page on Facebook. Thursdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time on Facebook. We do hardcore Course in Miracles. So what we're going to do right now, so what is your function? Let me give you a quick practical application of your function. Your function is to take what I've shared with you, lesson 50 in the workbook, and you want to do exactly what you're being told to do. If you will do exactly what you're being told to do, even if you don't believe it, even if you don't completely understand it, then you would be fulfilling your function. And you would start to recognize and see how God is sustaining you. So how do we do that? Well, we go back, and we go back to the parts. You go back through the workbook lesson, and you look for the things in the workbook lesson that's giving you direct instruction. Let me give you an example. It says, I am sustained by the love of God. Here is the answer to every problem that will confront you today and tomorrow and throughout time. So the first thing you do is say, okay, I am sustained by the love of God. I'm just going to say what I'm being told to say. Why? Well, he's already told you that you want the idea to sink into your consciousness. And so how do you get an idea to sink into your consciousness? How do you get this to be real to you? How do you get this to be believable to you? Well, the Course in Miracles tells you right there in the lesson. For 10 minutes twice today, let the idea sink deep into your consciousness. So why do you want to study the Course in Miracles? Why do you want to study the ideas in the Course in Miracles? So that they can sink deep into your consciousness. So how do you make an idea sink deep into your consciousness? Well, you make an idea sink deep into your consciousness. It says it right here. That's why I said you don't have to analyze the Course. It's right there in front of us. He says, repeat it, think about it, and repeat it. Think about it and repeat it. We've been thinking about this for the last hour, and we're also repeating it. And then we've been letting related thoughts come to us. And then you have to allow, notice it says, allow peace to flow over you. I've got to let peace flow over me. I have to let peace into my life. I have to let peace into my mind. I have to allow peace. So what are you supposed to say? I allow peace. I allow peace. I allow peace to flow over me like a blanket. I allow peace to flow over me like a blanket of protection. So we're going to repeat it. So if you do what you're being told, if you practice what it's telling you, then you are fulfilling your function. It is a form of forgiveness. When you practice the truth, when you obey God, when you do what your spiritual path instructs you to do, then you are fulfilling your function. You will be given what you need, which is the promise. So remember, nowhere in this was it saying how important it is for you to understand this. It just gave you some facts. What's the facts? Well, the fact is that most people believe that they're being taken care of by pills, money, protective clothing, influence, prestige, being liked, and knowing the right people. And they don't believe they are being sustained by their Creator. The Course in Miracles says the truth is, when you think that it's those things that's taking care of you, it makes you continue to think that you are a body and not a spirit. It makes you think that you're still separate from God. Then the Course in Miracles gives another instruction. He says, stop putting your faith in anything but your Creator. That doesn't mean you're not going to experience all the things that this world has to offer as a means for you to wake up. But you need to remember that the only thing that can protect you in every circumstance is the love that God has for you. And that what the Course is doing is trying to take you into a state of mind that is so peaceful and so fearless that nothing can disturb it. Because if you have, the Course in Miracles says, if there's no conflict within you, you will not be in conflict with anything or anyone outside of you. That any conflict that's happening on the outside is happening because of conflict on the inside. So don't put your faith in the ego. Don't put your faith in the outer world, because it's going to fail you. Put your faith in the love of God, because it will never change. It is eternal. So what is your spiritual work? Well, your spiritual work is to learning how to allow all those blocks, any blocks that keep you from recognizing that you are sustained by God. Because God's love is what? Real love. That's another way of saying it. Real love is eternal. Real love never changes, and real love never fails. And it's the answer to whatever confronts you right now. So it's through what? It's through the love of God within you. It's through the love of God that's inside of you. It can resolve every difficulty, any difficulty, without effort, and ensure confidence. Instruction. Tell yourself this often today. Tell yourself what you have just heard and what this lesson says. Tell yourself this often today. It's your declaration that you're willing to be released from belief in your ego. So here we go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love. Say it with me, please. I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love of God. Say it, repeat it, think about it. That's how you let the ideas sink in. So tell yourself, I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love of God. Let me say it to you. Let me say it for you. And you listen to it and let it in, and let it in. You are sustained by the love of God. You are sustained by the love of God. You are sustained by the love of God. You are sustained by that which created you. You are sustained. You are sustained by the love of that which created you. No matter what's happening, no matter what problem you think you have, this is the answer. This is the answer. This is the answer. You are sustained by the love of God. You are sustained by the love of God. You are sustained by the love of God. Repeat it. Think about it. Repeat it. Think about it. Repeat it and think about it. Repeat it. Repeat it. It didn't say analyze it. It didn't even say understand it. The Course says repeat it. Repeat it. Just repeat it. I am sustained by the love of God. Think about it. You are sustained by the love of God. That means you are sustained by God's love for you. The Creator's love for you. Not your love for the Creator. It's the Creator's love for you that's sustaining you. So listen to this over and over again. All of the drilling and the noise stopped right at the end of the class. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is so true. Everything the Course says the ego would try to prove, it does. So, Mighty Companion, I needed this. I can't wait to listen back to it. Listen to it at least 4 times. And remember, this is the answer to everything that confronts you, every problem you will have today, tomorrow, and throughout time. Do the workbook. Do the workbook. Do the Course in Miracles workbook. Do the workbook. What did I say? Do the workbook. What does the Course say? Do the workbook. If you want to get the blessings, if you want to see the blessings, if you want to recognize the blessings and the healings that A Course in Miracles is promising you, it's going to come through doing and practicing the workbook lessons in A Course in Miracles. I love you. I appreciate you. And may the Course be with you.